Hey, healthy people. My name is Dr. Josh McMillan with Complete Wellness Health Center. Recently, I had the privilege of presenting the information you're about to see to the good people over at the Durham County Sheriff's Office and the people there at the courthouse. We had a great time. So we wanted to send this out to all of you who weren't able to be there. Now, we had to chop it up a little bit because it got a little lengthy, so excuse some of the awkward edits. But I hope that you're going to get a lot of really good information out of the information that I presented there. Now, the great news is on May 14th, I'm going to be back. We're going to be talking about diet and nutrition. So I look forward to seeing you there, and I hope you enjoy this information. So I'm going to try to make this fun. I've done a lot of these. I've been in practice for 15 years. I've done a lot of these. I've sat through a lot of these as well, and I get really bored really fast. I like to have a lot of fun with it. Definitely some audience participation makes it a lot more fun, for sure. We'll get through the information. So here is the basic concept that we're going to talk about. Save your back. And if you have felt this at any point, if you have not yet felt this at any point, you are going to feel it at some point. In fact, 80% of people get back pain in their lives. 80%. Now, what's crazy is that with law enforcement, that stat jumps. So a lot of times, you'll see a stat here. We did some research, and at some point, 80% will have back pain. Most of the time, about 30% of the population, 38% of general population will have back pain at that moment. Does that make sense? But in law enforcement, at any given time, 67% have back pain. That's in law enforcement. Now, you talk about people that work at a desk, that stat also jumps up tremendously because sitting is really bad for your back. Top 5 causes of back pain. Degeneration. Sitting, posture, sleeping, the gear that you wear, your duty belt, your vest, and the use of force. So these are more specific to law enforcement in the field, right? So for those of you that would just work here at the courthouse, this right here, you're all about that, right there, okay? So we'll go through these one at a time in no particular order, but when it comes to the geared, weight distribution is the biggest issue. So with a duty belt, the weight distribution is all wrong, basically. So you're gonna have the added weight with all the gear, right? It's gonna change the way that you sit in your vehicle. It is really hard to sit up straight with a duty belt. In fact, it's hard to, because when you're sitting in that and you've got all that stuff in the back, you can't actually sit up straight and get in the right position. It's gonna put a lot of pressure on the disc, and we'll talk about that. It also causes pressure on the pelvis. The other thing, and it's super important to kind of understand a little anatomy here, is with that duty belt, you've got nerves that run out of your back, and it comes across and it comes down the leg like this, right? You have nerves in the front of the leg as well. So those nerves there, if you've got that duty belt on and you spend a lot of time sitting, it's gonna pinch that area right there. So for you officers, if you're feeling these things right here, that is a sign that your duty belt is probably a little too thick. Might be a little too weighted down that you may wanna move to a vest. Also, I know a lot of people now have the vest, but still some things on the duty belt, right? Because you got to have some things on the belt. You can't go no belt, as far as I understand, right? So you're going to have a little bit of belt, but the more you take, the weight you take off of that, the better it is for the nerves in the back. If you're recognizing that, that is something that we need to address ASAP. Understand this, nerve problems are dangerous because nerve problems become long-term problems. It's very easy to push aside things that feel bad and be like, I'll deal with it later, or I'll take some drugs, it'll make me feel better. Remember, drugs are covering the problem, not fixing the problem. So when it comes to the gear, there was a study that was done with a police department and the Mayo Clinic, and they found that the vest did weigh more, but the weight is more evenly distributed, so there's a lot less strain on the low back and the hips. So in all the research that I did when it comes to gear, and I get this question a lot because we treat a lot of law enforcement. I've treated guys with their bulletproof vests on as they come in because they need to come in and out as quick as possible. I've looked at the different vests. I like the vests, especially the ones that have the strap underneath that can Velcro in and really kind of tighten it down. I like those a lot, but I know the biggest problem is resources, being able to have the funds to be able to issue vests to everybody. Is that pretty much still the issue? Yes. Next, let's talk about posture. Now this is for every single person in here, so everybody stand up. A little audience participation. All right, so people on this side right here, you stay where you are. People on the outside turn and face the person on the inside, just like that. You're gonna look at the other person, okay? So Lieutenant Sharp, come here for a second. Here's what we're looking at. Oh, you got three. They're like, who do I face? This is weird. So Yeah, you stay there, you look at him, that way he's not staring at her and it gets awkward. Okay, good. All right, so we want to look at person from this side to look at posture, okay? What we want to see is we want to see that the ear is over the shoulder is over the hips are over the ankle. All right? Now, here's what we see a lot. So take a look at me from the side. Here's what we see a lot. See the head coming forward, right? Is the person that you're staring at, is their head away from the center of gravity? So here, Lieutenant Sharp, now here's the problem. Dude's got a little bit of mass, right? So, but you can see that just a little bit. You can see though that his ear is actually in front of his shoulder and it's not back here. So we got a little bit we call anterior head carriage or forward head posture. The head is coming forward like this, okay? Now, he's actually pretty good. Now turn to face them real quick. Here's the other problem. So now face each other. Don't stare awkwardly to each other's eyes or anything weird. Look at their hands. Look at the arms. Take a look at Lieutenant Sharper here real quick. You see how he's got the finger and the thumb here, right? He's also got a little internal rotation. What we actually want to see is we just want to see the gun right there, the finger and the thumb. That's all we want to see when it comes to posture. Lieutenant Sharp has a little internal rotation, super common with guy with a lot of muscle mass because these muscles are pulling him forward in like that. So the other issue that we look at when it comes to posture is the booty, right? And so you got people that have what I call the white boy booty, which is no butt at all, an acetal problem, right? Where it's just like super flat, right? And they walk around and they're walking around like this, right? And then you have people who've got what we call the booty shelf. The booty shelf is this like this, right? And so they're walking around like this. So it's sticking out or it's totally flat. So those are two main issues. And so if you see the booty, don't look. But if you see it on yourself, then you're going to see that the flat booty is the pelvis is tilted forward quite a bit, right? If it's out, the pelvis is tilted back quite a bit. If the pelvis is tilted back quite a bit, it pinches that low back. This guy, weight is distributed a little bit better. That guy, the pelvis is not great at all. So when you're looking at posture, the first thing you can actually see in everybody is that head coming forward. That's the most obvious thing. Look at your kids, look at your spouse, look at your friends. And if you see that, here's what's happening. You've got a spinal cord in your spine, right? That spinal cord starts at the base of your skull, comes all the way down to your sacrum. That spinal cord has the consistency of a wet noodle, right? So if that head comes forward like this, it's actually going to pull on the spinal cord. And as we're going to talk about, your spinal cord and your nerves are the most important part of your body. That's how you heal. And when you are having health issues, it is because there's interference in that area. So this is a big problem for people. This causes headaches. It causes shoulder pain when you get all that tension up through here. The reason you feel that tension is because imagine holding a bowling ball here versus out there. If you're holding a bowling ball out here, it's just physics. You're going to feel it right there. It's going to be really heavy. You take that neck, you come forward with it. After you've come 2 to 4 inches forward, you're looking at the head weighing 2 to 4 times as much as it actually does. So that's what it feels to the body. So the head comes forward like this. Now all of these muscles have to try to hold that up, which is why you get all kinds of tension. So posture is really, really important. The other problem with posture, if you think about it, this is a chain. And that chain is moving all the time. If you have bad posture, it will wear out your spine faster. And here's the trick when it comes to your spine. It's something you really need to understand. You can get a new heart. You can get a new hip. You can get a new knee. You can replace all kinds of things. You cannot get a new spine. If your spine wears out, you are stuck with it. And we are seeing people with 20, 30 years of degeneration on their spine. So taking care of your spine should be one of the biggest priorities because you can't get a new one. And because you can't not use it. You get a bad knee, you can crutches, you can kind of take it easy on the knee. You can't stop using your spine, right? It is that important. So posture is a window to the spine. And this guy right here, that text neck, we see it all the time, especially with kids. So if you have kids, and if you are traveling with kids, don't give them the iPad where they're doing this. They have things all over the place now where you can attach it to the back of the seat. At least put it up. It's a much better idea. Have your kids stop doing this because it's getting worse and worse. Make sense? So posture is huge. So here's how you combat posture. Here's how you battle it. These are some exercises right here. If you want to, get your phones out, take a picture of these. Really, really good exercises for posture. Notice they're mainly core and upper back. Core and upper back. You want elongation exercises. You want posterior chain exercises. Notice nobody here, they're not flexing, they're not doing crunches, they're not doing sit-ups. Why? Because y'all spend all day long flexed, right? You're seated and you're flexed the entire day. So what happens is everything gets really shortened. So for good posture, you want to elongate and strengthen the back. Strengthen the side, strengthen the glutes, strengthen the glutes, strengthen the glutes. Strengthen the what? Glutes. What's really important with posture? Your butt. Your glutes, super, super important when it comes to posture. Then the other thing here is the upper back. These are called T's and Y's, and here's Caleb. He's against the wall. That's called a wall angel. You're doing this. Get that chest open as much as you can. It really, really helps posture there. So very, very important exercises. All right, moving on. All right, let's talk about sleep. All right, here's the do's and don'ts. I'm going to make it really simple. Do not ever sleep on your stomach. If you're sleeping on your stomach, quit it. It's a terrible idea. It's so bad for your body. There's nothing redeeming about it. And here's why. You can't breathe through a pillow, can you? You can't breathe through a mattress, can you? So you spend all night doing this. Just do this for 5 minutes while I'm talking and your neck will start to hurt, right? People do that all night long. They're like, my neck hurts. I think I know why. All night, 8 hours of this. Even worse, they do this. Hands up. You've got nerves that come out right there and you're pinching those nerves. Not only that, but most people are sleeping on too soft of a mattress to begin with, so it accentuates the low back, it makes your butt look bigger, and it makes your stomach look bigger. I don't care what motivates you, just don't do it. Do not sleep on your stomach. Do not sleep on your side with one leg up and one leg down, right? Not like that. It feels so good, right? You know what that does to your pelvis? It twists it the entire time. For the entire night, you're twisting your pelvis. Right? You don't want to do that. Instead, you can sleep on your side. That's cool. But put your knees in the same plane. You can bend them a little bit. Do a little fetal position if you want to. That's fine. But put a pillow between your knees. That way your hips aren't down like this, right? So just align that a little bit better and you continue sleeping on the other side. Here's the other part. Lieutenant Sharp, stand up. Look at the difference between, go this way. Good. Look at the difference between here and here. Look how big that gap is. Do you think he needs a little bitty pillow when he sleeps on the side? He needs a gigantic pillow. He needs a really thick pillow. Otherwise, his neck's going to do this. You can sit down, thanks. So if you sleep on your side, you need a thicker pillow. You need a side sleeper pillow. You do not need a flat pillow. Here's the trick. Here's how you know that your pillow is too flat. If you sleep on your side and you feel like you got to stick that hand up and underneath the pillow, your pillow's too flat. Because subconsciously, not unconsciously, subconsciously, you are sticking the hand up here to get your neck right. But guess what that does? Pinches here, pinches there. People's hands go numb. Like, my hands go numb all the time when I sleep. I think I know why. Right. Sleeping position is super important, right? Do not sleep with multiple pillows on your neck when you're on your back. All you have to do is support this teeny tiny little curve when you're on your back. People sleep like this all the time with pillows up like this because it's so comfortable. Yeah, it's forward head posture. And then they wake up and all day long they're doing this, right? They wake up with headaches. They wake up super stiff. By the way, if you're waking up stiff and in pain, that's a problem. You should wake up rested. That means you have inflammation. That means it could be sleeping. It could be your mattress. It could be your pillow. Most of the time, it's your spine and your neck. Most of the time, when we start to treat people, they start to sleep better, and they don't wake up in pain anymore. So it's rarely your mattress and pillow. It's mostly your body, and we can help with that. So do sleep on your side with both legs in the same position, pillow between your legs, sleep on your back with your neck curve supported. You can do a pillow up and underneath if you're on your back. That's fine. Here's how you train yourself to not sleep on your stomach. Okay? It's a two-step process. First thing you do, go get a gigantic body pillow. People are like, it's uncomfortable, I don't want to do that. Fine. I've had people tape a tennis ball to their chest. In the middle of the night, they go to roll over, they roll on a tennis ball, keeps them from rolling over. But the most comfortable way, get a gigantic body pillow, because it's that serious, right? Get a gigantic body pillow. Hug that thing, cuddle that thing, right? So as you start to roll over, the pillow will get in the way, and then you're kind of on a soft pillow. And eventually, you just feel way more comfortable on your side. Keep that body pillow, put it between your knees, put it right here so that when you're on your side, your shoulders don't collapse down. Make sense? That's how you get through the sleeping. The rest of it is terrible. All right, use of force. Here's the other part when it comes to law enforcement. This is how law enforcement is incredibly unique. And it's great for you guys to understand what these guys go through, right? And we understand that when you guys have to use force, you have to use force, and it destroys your body. We understand that. We really, really appreciate the sacrifice that you guys make on your body because we see the damage. Unfortunately, in law enforcement personnel, injury incidence has been reported to vary from 250 to 2,500 injuries per 1,000 police officers. 2,500 injuries per 1,000 police officers. That is a massive amount of injuries on just 1,000 police officers, right? The most common injuries, sprains and strains. Why? Because y'all are athletes. You are what we call tactical athletes. You're not weekend warriors. We basically see the same injuries on you as we see in professional athletes. You have the same overuse, the same chronic sprains and strains. You add to that the mental stress that you go through on a daily basis. No wonder police officers and sheriffs get burned out so fast, right? It's insane. So those injuries also, with 50% of respondents reporting back pain in the survey as well. So you've got all these sprains. In fact, back pain is the #1 complaint. Here's how you combat, and this approach here is not unique to law enforcement. This is how you all get healthy and stay healthy. So when it comes to health problems, think of these 5 things, okay? Now, we're going to make it a little bit more towards combating the damage done during force, right? Stop focusing on feeling better. Start focusing on healing better. I'm going to say that again. This is the trick to longevity, you guys. This is how you get 80 and 90 years old and you're still mobile. Because we're all living in our late 80s at this point, up into our 90s. Do you want to be the people that are in their 80s and 90s and are miserable in a home? Or do you want to be mobile, having fun, enjoying retirement, enjoying grandkids, enjoying great-grandkids, right? Stop focusing on feeling better because pain comes and goes. Pain is the last thing to come on and the first thing to go away. Stop covering your pain with medication. It's not going to work. It's not going to fix it. In fact, more damage is being done while you're just covering that pain. Focus on healing better. Are you resilient? Can you handle life? Do you wake up in pain? Are you tired all the time? Do you have headaches and aches and pains that don't go away? Do you have a really, really bad diet? Do you have a very easy, quick diet where you just grab food as quick as you can? Do you look at food the right way? So here's what you're going to do. These 5 things. You're going to look at these 5 things and you're going to start to address them one at a time. Okay? Exercise increases oxygen. Oxygen heals the body. You need to exercise the right way. You need to exercise the right way. And we can help you figure out what the right way for you is based upon what we see. All right? Diet, garbage in, garbage out. Remember this for the rest of your life. When you put food in your mouth, you're either feeding disease or you're fighting it. When you put food in your mouth, you're either feeding disease or you're fighting it. When you put food in your mouth, you're either helping your body to heal or you're slowing that healing down. Those are the only 2 options. There is no middle ground. All right? So diet is really important. If you are tired, if you are miserable, start there. We'll make it easy. Meat and veggies. Eat way more veggies. Eat lots of meat. Way more veggies. Eat meat. Do not eat processed food. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Shop around the perimeter of the store. If you're shopping in the middle, you're doing something wrong usually. Okay, those are all the processed foods. Reduce your toxic load. If your body is busy fighting your environmental toxins, by the way, your water is full of toxins. So you all need some sort of water filtration system. So I want to say one thing about that mental stress. I want you to remember it. Counseling is like exercise for the mind. Every department has a counselor. Every department has resources. Use those resources. There's nothing shameful about it. Use it, use it, use it. I cannot tell you how many of my patients were feeling terrible, chronic pain, absolutely miserable. We helped them with adjustments. We helped them with diet. We helped them with exercise. But it wasn't until they saw a counselor that they went from to amazing. Because that stress builds up on your body, you guys. It's super important. Use those resources. Combat that mental stress. Even if you're like, okay, it wasn't a super hard day. Well, a super hard day for a police or a law enforcement is totally different than a super hard day for us, right? Totally different. Some of those images get stuck in your brain. You can't not let it happen, right? It just gets stuck there. Use counseling, it's super important. You gotta combat your stress. If you wanna heal from these injuries, you guys gotta combat your stress, both physically, but also emotionally, mentally as well, okay? Now, the other thing here, clear your nervous system. Here's the thing. When you get a cut on your body, what heals that cut? Time, sure, maybe. Air, it needs oxygen, right? So my grandma always said, let that thing breathe, right? What do we typically do now when you get a cut? Cover it up, seal that thing down, right? So it needs oxygen for sure. But think about it. Does the Band-Aid actually heal the cut? Does the Neosporin actually heal the cut, or just provide a little bit of moisture and antibacterial stuff? Right. What heals the cut? Your body heals the cut. If you get a cut, your body, your nervous system senses that, sends information from the arm to the spinal cord, up to the brain. The brain goes, we have a cut, we need to make new skin, let's do this. Sends the information back down to that area, the body makes new skin, increased blood flow, blah, blah, blah. Everything starts to heal. Your body heals that way. When you injure a ligament, when you tear a muscle, same thing happens. The body has to go, oh, I need to fix this right here. Without this, we got nothing, right? This is also in control of all of your digestive system, your heart, your hormones. There is nothing in your body that your brain and nervous system don't control. Cool. Let's talk about sitting. Sitting is the new smoking. Have you guys heard that? Sitting is the new smoking. Yep. Okay. Was smoking okay a long time ago? Is it okay now? No. Smoking is a terrible idea, right? Everybody, yes. Smoking is a terrible idea, right? Sitting is a terrible idea. We are not designed to sit. We are designed to get out, kill it, and bring it home. Oh, I'm sorry, plant it and harvest it and then bring it home. Whatever you want to say, right? We are designed to move because motion is lotion when it comes to your joints. Motion is what? Lotion. Motion is lotion when it comes to your joints, right? So when we sit and we look like this, I don't know why he looks like a millennial with all this stuff, but fine. So looking like this right here, you see his head's like really far forward, his back is hunched. Look at all the stuff that's associated with this: colon cancer, disc damage, overproductive pancreas, heart disease. Heart disease, holy crap, sitting is killing people faster. It is. There's tons of research that says sitting is killing people faster. So sitting, and look what it does to your spine, so bad. So this is what you want to do when it comes to sitting. If you sit, I don't recommend sitting. Next slide. Instead, I recommend that. Move. The more you move, the better. We got standing desks that look like this, standing desks that look like that. There are now treadmills that go underneath the desk, and you can just walk while you work. Imagine you're losing weight while you're working. Because you're walking, you're burning calories. The other thing is what Stephanie has in her hand. This is called a back vitalizer. Y'all, this is a game changer for our police officers and our law enforcement. This is also a game changer for people who sit at a desk. What it is inside here, it's got a bladder. And all you do is you blow it up, right? So I got a really close buddy who really hurt his back. And he was with the Raleigh Police Department for a while. Now we got a super cushy job in the Lake Royale. He's like, oh yeah, no, it's awesome in Lake Royale. Go from Raleigh Police Department, like near NC State was where he was. Now he's in like Lake Royale where like nothing ever happens. So he's like, oh, it's so nice. I'm like, get out and walk, good for you. So he took this thing, he blew it up just a little bit, put it in his back while he was in his patrol car. He said it was an absolute game changer. And I was like, it was really that effective? He goes, absolutely. He also had just switched the vest as well, but this combined with the vest, his pain went away.
What's it called?
This is called the back vitalizer. Awesome for police officers, awesome for sheriffs in your car, awesome for traveling. I took mine. I was that weird guy on the plane. I flew out to California to see my family. Weird guy on the plane. Get this thing, like, person next to me is like, what are you doing? And I did this and went, ah. And they're like, hey. So it's awesome because it has that air in it. It actually allows you to move around just a little bit while you're in your seat. Motion is what? Motion is lotion. It is not about the back support that keeps you in one position. It's about the fact that this thing keeps you moving. This thing is absolutely awesome. Highly recommend it. So that is the back vitalizer. Now, the other problem with sitting is your disc. You know, you all have bones. In between your bones, you have these cushions called discs, right? The disc should look like sponges that soak up the fluid. You need it. This is where you all live, right there. Look at how much pressure is on your disc. This is most people here and here that sit at a desk. 275 pounds of pressure on the disc. So what happens is that disc gets smashed, and all you do all day long is just sustain that pressure. The disc gets smaller and smaller, thinner and thinner. You start to lose the pressure, the sponge starts to dry out, and then you get herniations in the disc, you get tears. This is one of the things we specialize in our office. Why? Because it is so prevalent. We have a very fancy machine that we use, spinal decompression machine. As you watch this animation, you're gonna go, oh, that looks like that feels good. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yep. So look what's happened. Here's the disc, here's the bones, here's the nerve. So the machine literally takes it like this and pulls it up and pumps. As it pumps, it creates a negative pressure that sucks fluid into the disc itself. So it hydrates that sponge again, because a nice hydrated sponge can move without tearing. A dehydrated sponge tears like that, right? So spinal decompression is awesome, but also look what it does to the nerve. Remember, your nerve is your master control system. Spinal decompression is awesome for disc issues. People who say they have sciatica, low back pain, people with pain, numbness, tingling down the leg, so good for all those things. Go ahead, Steph, thanks. Now, there is a study that was a landmark study. Been 10 years old now. 3,000 participants. Here's what I want you to see. Asymptomatic individuals. No history of pain whatsoever. Next slide. 3,000 people. No pain whatsoever. Look at the problem. Disc degeneration. Where are you guys? 30s, 40s, 50s? Nobody in their 60s? Anybody in their 60s here? So you guys are right here, right? The number, look at the 40s. 68% of people in their 40s. More percentage in their 40s than in their 50s. Crazy, right? That's just disc flattening out, right? Now, remember, no pain. Facet degeneration, when you hear this, I want you to hear arthritis in the back. Degeneration in the bones, right? Look at that. For every decade, it almost doubles the number of people that have this kind of damage, because we sit way too much. But the question you should be asking yourself right now is, why aren't you feeling it? Why do these people not feel this problem? Here's why. You only feel 10% of the information in your spine. So your nerves are a bunch of wires, right? That bone can shift onto up to 90% of that nerve, and you have no idea because you don't feel it. And if that bone is shifting and moving wrong, it's going to degenerate, it's going to wear out, it's going to wear out that disc faster and faster, right? So it becomes a problem. The other 90%, they're in charge of everything else. Now, we talked about all the 5 causes of pain and degeneration. All things that we talked about today will affect your body, right? They have an effect on your nervous system, and your nervous system is the master control system. Here's the problem. The problem is, when you do these things, it starts off very small. Your problems, 99% of your problems were not due to one thing. They were due to a lot of very small things that built up on your body. Does that make sense? That's super important. Years of bad posture. May have been sports early on, accident here or there, car accident, whatever it is, use of force. All of that is more and more trauma on your body. It builds up on your body. But it starts with this. It starts with little small shifts in your spine. The shifts start to shift onto the nerve. This is good nerve communication that goes everywhere else. This is bad nerve communication because the bone slipped onto the nerve. That's pressure on the nervous system. You cannot heal. You cannot heal correctly when you have pressure on the nervous system. What were the 5 things, pop quiz, what were the 5 things that I listed that you need to start addressing immediately when it comes to long-term health? There's diet. Yeah, those 5 things. You definitely posture. 100% posture. Nervous system. Diet. Exercise, the right time, and the right way. Combating stress. Love it. We got one more. Toxins, right? So there's what you eat is one of the most important things you can ever do is get good food, right? Garbage in, garbage out. But it's also what you're exposed to. So for toxins, it's not just what you're putting in your body and what you're consuming like through your water. It is like soaps, all kinds of soaps, all kinds of beauty products. Everybody get your phone out right now. Go to Google, or no, go to your apps. Type in Yucca, Y-U-K-A, Yucca. Download this app. Y-U-K-A. Yucca will change your life. Scan everything. Want to have some fun? Take your kids to the store with you. Have your kids start scanning it. It should be free. I have the paid version so I can search for things, but it should be free. Just start scanning the stuff you have at home. All of your beauty products, scan them. It will rate your beauty products for you. It will tell you if they're good or bad. Colognes, aftershave, shampoos, conditioners, makeup, all of it. Food, what? Candles. Oh, you can even scan candles. Believe it or not, that will give you an idea. The more red you get, the more poor things you have, the more higher your toxic load is. And all of those toxins are affecting your brain and nervous system. It can't not do that. It's a super cool app. You like it? Here's a great part. Here's the other part of this app. You scan something, it'll give you a grade on it. So usually it's like something out of 100. Yeah, out of 100. It'll say poor, then it will give you suggestions, which is super helpful, right? That'll help reduce your toxic load as well. If nothing else, after this talk today, you're going to come away with looking at your posture, caring about your diet, and learning how to figure out what's toxic and what's not. Make sense? Very cool. All right. So the biggest causes of problems in your body, trauma and posture, right? Good. And it's important because the nerves tell the body what to do, right? I think I made a mistake having them look at their phones. Because like my teenagers, put your phones down. It's a super cool app, right? Next time I'm going to do that at the end. All right, so in our office, Lieutenant Sharp asked me to talk about what we typically do in our office. In our office, we're chiropractors. We focus on those 5 things for all of our patients. Usually, typically what they do is they come in, we do a thorough exam, very, very thorough workup. We love technology. We're all about it. We brought that technology with us today. Is it set up? Yeah, thank you. We brought that technology. One of the things that we can actually tell with some of this is surface EMG, super quick scan. We scan the spine, red is bad, green is good. It's super easy, right? That tells us that there are irritations, there are things that are being pulled, pinched, irritated, blah, 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 that there could be a problem whether you feel it or not, because you only feel what percentage of the nerve? 10% of the nerve, right? So we do a scan, see what's going on, we shoot the x-rays, and then we start a treatment plan. A very specific treatment plan to you. I would say most of the people that are in law enforcement usually need some sort of spinal decompression because it's hard on your back, period. Yeah, we're networked with Cigna. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we're networked with the Sheriff's Department insurance as well. But it's not state health plan, right? No. It's just Cigna. Yeah, we're in network with Cigna, for sure. And now usually if people don't have insurance, it's like $275 or something like that. How much is it without insurance, Stephanie? That's it, $215. I don't pay attention to the numbers. But if you have insurance, your copay, blah, blah, blah. I talked with the other doctors at our office, and we really, really appreciate, we back the blue. We really appreciate law enforcement, anybody who works with law enforcement. So the way that we like to show our appreciation, the owner was like, let's do this. Let's just have them come in and we won't charge them at all. So you can come in, get the entire workup. We won't charge you for the initial. And if there is something that we can help you with, then we'll let you know how much it costs. But at least take advantage of that, for sure. Today, she's got the scanner with her.
And what's the name of your?
Complete Wellness Health Center, yeah.
Are you in Durham?
We are in Briar Creek, so just a few minutes from Durham. So the scan today takes less than a minute. We scan your neck, we scan your low back. If we see red, we're like, oh, you see some red. Maybe you want to do something about that. But the fun part is, it gives you, we don't see the score. it gives you a score. And typically when I do this, people get back there and then they compete, like who has the worst score, right? Like, oh, I got the worst score. No, should not be bragging about that. You want the best score. So if you do the scan, red's bad, we want a low score. Makes sense? So take advantage of that. Do that today. It's super cool. It's a lot of fun. It also kind of gives you an idea if there's something going on, or if you're like, I know there's something going on because I'm miserable, I'm hurting, I've got some problems. Come and see us. We'll help you out. Okay? Yes? We cannot, nobody can fix bone spurs. But we can put the spine in the right positioning with the right strengthening and the right muscle contraction so the bone spurs don't get worse. We see people with decades of bone spurs and they've only had pain for like the last 2 weeks. And we're like, holy crap, this has been there for a long time. But sometimes the bone spurs are so bad, we can't even stop it from getting worse, but we can slow it down. So depending on the severity, we can definitely help with symptoms. Symptoms are the easy part, you guys. I tell patients, getting you out of pain is going to be the easy part. Keeping you out of pain is going to be the hard part. That's the hard part. I mean, if you want to just get out of pain, just take some drugs, cover the pain. It's not going to do you any good, but we can fix the underlying cause and keep you out of pain. That's the big deal right there. Good. What other questions you guys have? Yeah.
So I was always taught that chiropractors are a no-no, that it's best to get physical therapy.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
what is your...
Right. So back in the 80s, that was chiropractors are bad, blah blah blah. Chiropractors are no. There were a lot of political issues with that for sure, especially with the AMA, American Association. There was a big lawsuit, blah blah blah. At this point though, I refer to PTs, PTs refer here. We refer to MDs, MDs refer to us. The literature and the research is very clear. We have our lane, and we stay in our lane, and we know what we're good at. And otherwise, we refer. We treat nurses, medical doctors, PTs. Got a really good buddy who's a PT. I saw him for my shoulder because that's his lane. I had to have surgery on it, so I went to an ortho, not a chiropractor, right? So if we stay in our lane, everything is fine. The other issue is people think that chiropractic care is unsafe for some reason or another. So usually, I'm just going to address that right now. Chiropractic care. Chances of significant injury with chiropractic care, 1 in 4 million to 1 in 20 million. Chance of being struck by lightning, 1 in 700,000. If you want more numbers, my malpractice insurance is cheaper than my car insurance because what we do is really safe, very safe. I told one of my medical doctor buddies one time how much my malpractice was, and he's like, shut up. That's like 1 month for me. That's for the entire year. It's insane. Grace has a 12 o'clock, everybody. Thanks for coming, Grace. Appreciate it. All right. Any other questions?
Is there like a maintenance monthly plan that we can get on for prevention?
Yeah. We're big time in prevention, for sure. That maintenance plan is highly individual, though. A lot of chiropractors be like, well, just come in once a month, blah, 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 blah. Your body tells us what you need. And so once we get you to the point where you're nice and stable and we just want to keep it that way, then we figure that out. But we don't go just from let's do active and then we'll see you in a month. Especially our athletes, especially our police officers, especially our student athletes. I mean, that is, you guys are way too hard on your body. So what we do is we see what the body needs. We kind of start to spread it out a little bit, once a week, every other week, maybe once a month. People come in and go, that was too long or not long enough. So we'll play with it. But yes, my goal is to get you all to the point where you can just occasionally pop in and get a quick little tune-up and keep things where they're supposed to be. But you got to address all 5 of those things. That's how you get long-term change, right? And this is when people don't get better because they don't address all 5. Super important, right? What other questions?
Can a spine tune-up or adjustment help gut health?
Totally, 100%. In fact, in chiropractic school, it's kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke because this may be too much information, but I had a buddy. We would adjust everybody. We would all adjust each other right before tests because honestly, getting adjusted makes my brain turn on and I can focus and I'm way more comfortable while taking the test. I can concentrate a lot better. Seems weird, seems a little woo-woo, totally works because it's all nervous system oriented, right? My buddy would adjust me, I'd have to go to the bathroom. Every single time he would adjust me, I'd have to go to the bathroom because he was adjusting a very specific area. We treat a lot of babies. And I have stories. I have a video of a story where a baby was constipated for 2 weeks, did not poop at all. and I adjusted that baby. And a baby adjustment does not look like an adult adjustment, by the way. It's like checking the ripeness of a tomato. I adjusted that baby. I was handing the baby back to the parents. The baby just let it rip. And we're talking 2 weeks of stuff. And that thing it was wearing a onesie plus the pants, came out the diaper, out the onesie, up the pants like a wick, and got on my shirt. Like, it was just like, holy cow. And the parents were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm not. Look what just happened. He's way more comfortable now. That was awesome. So absolutely, gut health, getting adjusted is really helpful, but you got to address toxins, stress, and diet for sure. Exercise can be helpful for gut health as well because of the oxygen, but those are the main 3 things for sure. Any other questions? Awesome. All right. So we've recorded this here. I hope it's going to turn out well. We'll probably end up cutting the slides and putting them in over it. We'll send this to you so that you can distribute it. Do you distribute it to them too? Can we just?
Absolutely.
Okay, very cool. So you all will still have this information if you ever need it again. Take advantage of getting scanned today. See who's the best, not the worst, the best. If you have any other questions, come up and ask. I'm here. Thank you guys. You were very participating. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I hope that you learned a little bit of something about how your body works and how to prevent a lot of issues. If you're having pain, if you're having problems, do not wait. These are warning signals. Call our office, Complete Wellness Health Center. Call our office. The information is up on the screen right now. We can help you. I look forward to seeing you there on my next Health Talk on May 14th.